31, you finally get that chance. At 35, last resort, you're in the ring. And even when you get in the ring, people are like, he's too old. Where does that where does that persistence come from, in your opinion?
Oh God! When I watched it, because I remember doing the interviews, but it's all how they piece it all together. Um, people have been telling me my whole life what I can't do. So to me, it's like, okay, watch and just watch. It's going to take a while, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen because I'm not going to let it go. I call it being pleasantly persistent. And I've used it so many times. I try to teach it to as many young bloods as I can. Like, you got to be persistent. You got to be relentless. You got to keep putting the work in, and you got to see it. Because people who say, I'll believe it when I see it, those people never see shit. But the people who say, I believe it because I see it, that's what's magic. And a guy like The Rock, who's the biggest star in the world, he's one of those cats who see it at a different level. When you can be the biggest star in the world, let's just name another one, Tom Cruise. Oh, what did he ever do? He was the biggest star in the world. And Rock knocked him off that spot. But he's one of us. So that he's involved in what's happening right now at Mania, like, that is so magical. And it wouldn't have worked as well in LA. And from what I heard, he had commitments, so he couldn't do anything anyway. But for this to be here at this time in this place, like, if it wasn't Randy Savage that I beat back in 1997, if it was a guy who it had to be Savage, because Savage still was seen like as big as you can go. And he's kind of like the James Dean of wrestling. I mean, everybody still dresses up like Randy. Everybody, including me, do the Randy impersonation. Everybody's wearing T-shirts. Like, he's like, I don't know how to say it, but, a different level of icon. And that's a guy I beat to change my career. And he's the guy who made it happen. Scott and Kev set me up. Without those cats, it never happens. But man, Randy, I'll never forget that Randy, we were in the locker room getting dressed, and Arn came in, and he said, "So Randy, what do you want to do tonight?" And every night, bro, I'm getting left laying by the NWO. That's what we're doing. Or I escape, maybe hit Virgil, and escape through the crowd, But most nights, I'm getting left laying. And Randy says, think I want to take the diamond cutter. Like, there's no cameras. There's no people there, There's plenty of people. The place is packed. There was 5,000 people who can't get in because we were so hot at that time, and they hadn't started booking, except for nitros and stuff, the big buildings yet.
Yeah.
We had like an ice hockey rink. So maybe it held 11,000 people. There's 5,000 people who couldn't get in. And we went out there, man, and he beat the hell out of me. He was stiff as hell at times, and you gave it right back, but I wasn't getting much because he's about to do the JOB, and he's going to make sure he's whooping my ass hard. And bottom line is, at some point, I started to blow a comeback. He stopped me, picked me up, and diamond cutter. And I freaking slipped into that baby, and the roof blew off. And he'd been beating the hell out of me, so I just lay there. And he took the diamond cutter, so he's just laying there looking up at the lights. And I didn't move. And then the people started rumbling and rumbling and rumbling. And I just laid my arm over him. 1, 2, 3. And it was one of the loudest pops I've ever heard. And because there was so many people in that smaller building, it was surreal, man. And I could hear him say, think you know what we're going to do for, Spring Stampede. And I'm like, no. Like you don't ever believe. You
Yeah.
don't ever believe when something that huge in your business, in this business, you don't believe it until you're walking to the ring. And now
That's
you know they can't change it. You know, they can
yeah.
try, but they ain't gonna. You know, that shit's going down.